Hi, Stitchy friends. This is Jessie, and you've reached Miss Lead Pages. Thank you so much for coming in today. And if you're returning, then welcome back. And if you're brand new, then welcome to my channel. So this is Flosstube number 6. I'm going to do the 2019 Redux. So I'm going to go through everything that I finished off this year, all the finishes that I did, as well as the pieces that I FFO'd, which is only a couple. But we're going to go through those today. I'm also going to talk about whips that I started in 2019 and hope to finish in 2020. And we're also going to talk about new starts in January as well, and why January is the year of the SAL. So without further ado, I actually have a little bit of a slideshow for you. I'm using this program called StreamYard, and it actually enables me to share my screen with you. So instead of actually doing a full-on finish parade for 2019, I'm actually going to walk you through some photos so that you can see a little bit better what I finished this past year. So hopefully your day is going well, and let's get right on into this. So I'm going to flip us over to the slideshow here. And let me just go over there and let me start this slideshow. So this first piece is home is where the fur babies are. So this is the 20, oops, it's going too fast. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay, so this is the 2018 stitch along. So this is home is where the fur babies are. This was how I finished the 2018 project. And you can see down here at the bottom, it's got stitch along 6. I was on Team Dazed and Confused. That was my first time joining a team. I think last year might have actually been the first time they had teams, or 2018 was the first time they had teams. And so that was the team that I joined very late in the game. I got the date on here too. I don't think I actually signed this. I just put this down here at the bottom. But I did put it in this really nifty frame. And I believe you all saw that when I did my first Flosstube. If you're a returning watcher or viewer, then you may have seen that in Flosstube number 1. So that was my very first FFO for the year. I finished the stitching in 2018, but finally finished it off and framed it this past year around Memorial Day, I think. This was my first finish for 2019. I finished this in August or late June. This was our very fun and nifty No Problema. What was it? No Cause for a Llama is what this one is called. And so I did this for my friend Tina. I have finally gifted it to her. And in a minute, I will show you a picture of what it looked like when I completely finished it off, because I did frame it to give it to her. I don't think I put that in this slideshow, but I will show you a picture of that in a few minutes. So that is No Cause for a Llama. This is a llama. This is a Bothy Threads kit that I ordered from xstitch on Etsy. And I believe these are still available. This is the mojito that I did for Stitch Along this year. So we had a group project, a collaborative project, and our team decided to each stitch our favorite drinks, our favorite sips, because we were team sips and stitches. So this is my favorite sip. It's a mojito. I got this pattern from a group of patterns on Etsy. Lots and lots of really nifty cocktails. And so that was my individual stitch. And then I also stitched this large piece here. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving, but I stitched the Sips and Stitches logo with the wine glasses. So that was the logo we used for the team. These other stitches were done by teammates. So this at the top, what was her name? Goodness gracious, Amber, I believe. Carrie did this coffee cup. Really pretty coffee cup. The whiskey sour is from Rachel, and also our little Keropi frog down here, our team mascot, was done by Rachel as well. I haven't attached yet the piece that Heike did for us. She did a cosmopolitan, and it will go right in this empty space next to Stitches. The funny thing was, right after I got done stitching all of the Sips and Stitches, and this took me a while. It's a pretty large pattern overall. I want to say that the actual logo itself is something like 9 by 9 inches. And after I finished stitching the entire thing, I noticed that we misspelled stitches, or I misspelled stitches. So it's S-T-I-C-H-E-S. Technically, stitches should have another T there. So what we decided is that our team motto is that we don't total our T's. So that's why we're missing that T in our stitches. So that was my second finish of the year. Yeah, because I think I did the mojito first, and then I did sips and stitches, finished sips and stitches, and then put those together. And then we have, of course, Stay Golden. This is our Stitch Along 7 finish this year. My Stitch Along 7 finish. So Golden Girls was the main pattern here. We got little pieces of this pattern every week for 9 weeks. And then week 10, I think, was the border week. I went with an alternate border. And then I used 2 different kinds of flosses in this border, or 2 different colors of flosses in this border. And I added this inside back stitching line because I felt like it needed a little something extra. So the outside border is, I believe that is, what color is that? Oh, it's a Threadworks color. I can't remember specifically which one. The inside back stitching line and these little 4 X bits that are in the center of these triangular bits on the side, that's all Threadworks as well, and that is Bradley's Balloons. That's the color there, so it's a rainbowy kind of color. And then along the side, I've got Stitch Along 7, Team Sips and Stitches, and I spelled stitches correctly here, and my initials and 2019. So I chose Stay Golden for my wording. I wanted to do something more clever, but ultimately I just wanted to finish more than I wanted to figure out something clever. The Stay Golden is actually stitched with a combination of satin and metallic floss. So the actual X's in here, the solid bits, are a blend of the metallic and the satin, and then I have back stitched with gold metallic floss. So that is Stitch Along. And then once Stitch Along was done, I finished a different piece. This was my very first stitch on an even weave fabric. So this is an even weave scrap or bit from a bit bag from Mystic Fabrics. My very first even weave project, and I really enjoyed this. It was really fun. So the actual project is a stitch along I did from Nerd Stitch Along on Facebook, and this was a new part of the pattern every day through the entire month of October. So this was their October stitch along. And that is what the finished piece looked like. That was really fun to do, and was very satisfying to finish something other than the Golden Girls after 3 months of Golden Girls. This was a piece I did right after that, Oh For Fox's Sake. This is on another piece of Mystic fabric that I got from a grab bag, from the same grab bag, and it's a piece of yellow dyed linen. So this was the first time I stitched on linen. Interestingly, this was also the first time I stitched in hand. So I didn't actually put this in a hoop or on a frame or anything like that. I actually just held this in my hand and stitched it that way. I had looked at a tutorial from Kitten Stitcher where she showed how she stitches in hand, and it looked really interesting to me. So I decided to go ahead and try that for this piece. And I will say I enjoy stitching in hand. I like the feeling of the motion of stitching that way. It does make it hard to feel like you're getting your stitches really straight and to feel like you're getting your stitches even. Overall, for this piece, I thought it worked okay. I've done some stitching in hand on some other pieces that I've had mixed results with. So I really love the feeling of stitching in hand, but I think it's something that works best with certain kinds of pieces and certainly certain kinds of fabrics. So that is Oh For Fox's Sake. This pattern is from Stuart Cunningham. It's still available for free on his blog at Cunning Cross Stitch. I will put a link in the video today. This piece is my own design. I apologize that this picture is so dark. I needed to find a gift for a coworker because we did a Secret Santa, and I wasn't sure what to get her. It's so funny. I did get her a Kardashian. What was it? Oh, it was a Kris Jenner cookbook because she idolizes Kris Jenner. So I got her this Kris Jenner cookbook, but I wanted to give her something a little bit more personal in addition to that. And I learned that she had just gotten, she and her fiance have just moved into their first house. So I decided to make this home sweet home. I looked at a bunch of different patterns and nothing was quite exactly what I wanted. I wanted something kind of simple, but a little bit rustic, and I needed to be able to do it quickly. So ultimately I came up with this pattern myself. I found this free font online and then designed the rest of it around it. And this is actually stitched on a 16 count oatmeal. I believe it's the same. It's leftovers from the fabric that I used for the Siach Long from 2018. And the letters are stitched. The solid pieces are stitched in a variegated non-DMC, some random brand, loops and threads maybe. So the green, the red, and the green. So the home sweet home. The solid parts are in the variegated color, and then I actually outlined them in metallic in the appropriate color. And then the established 2019 is metallic. I believe I did that in red. And then the outer parts, the sort of candy cane border there is DMC color. So that's white and I think 666 and 703 or something like that. And then a red border. The back stitch border I was actually going to use to make it into a pillow or something like that. I was going to use that because I know that you can sew two pieces of fabric together with a nifty looking border if you have back stitching around both. So I was going to do that, but ultimately I ran out of time. So I did put the back stitch border on there still because I thought it looked really cute, but I didn't use it quite that way. So what I did do to finish it off was I actually sewed it onto a piece of felt, and I didn't take a picture of the back of it. I apologize for that. So it's actually sewn onto a piece of felt and then stuffed with foam fill, whatever, ollie fill fun, whatever that stuffing is that you get from the craft store. And then I've also sewn in this satin ribbon here. So it's a puffy little Christmas ornament that she can hang on her tree. That's a little bit better picture. I will say, first time doing this, learning curve, you can, if you're a crafter like me, if you're the kind of person I am and you're a perfectionist, you can totally see that I cut these corners a little too close and it's fraying there. It's not staying. She didn't seem to notice, which was really good. Everybody seemed to think that it was the bee's knees. So I was very happy with that. This red felt that is underneath the ornament is what I use to make backing on the ornament. So just pretend that you see that. But yeah, so that's a little ornament that I finished off. That was my second FFO for the year. And then we're back to that. So let me share a different screen with you. So let me quickly go. Hopefully I can do this quickly. Let's see. I can always try to edit this out later if I get a chance. So I just did this a couple weeks ago. I thought I had everything set up for this video, and then of course this is the one thing that I didn't have set up and ready for the video. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me I want to full screen this. I'm just trying to figure out how to full screen this. Slash it. Okay. Okay. Let me share that screen with you. Okay, so this is. Okay, is it doing full screen? Okay, it is full screen for you. Okay, so this is the fully finished. No cause for a llama. I don't know why my brain is tripping over that today. So I actually found this frame that I thought was perfect for the colors in it. I'm not really good with color, so I'm very impressed with myself when I find just the right colors. So I thought this is sort of a beech wood kind of frame, and I wasn't originally going to put the mat in there or leave the mat in there because it does obscure some of the stitching, and it obscures a little bit of um, the dotting that's on that really pretty Swigart Ada that came with it. But at the same time, it turned out that I couldn't get all of the wrinkles from my hoop. I left it on the hoop for so long. I think it was in the hoop for most of a year. So I left it on the hoop for so long that even after ironing, I couldn't quite get all of the wrinkles out. And there were a couple of weird stains on the left side that I couldn't get out either. So I used the mat, not only because I felt like it framed the artwork better, but also because it happened to cover up those things that I couldn't fix. So that was my final finish for the year. Or actually, no, I finished that. I didn't finish that till the beginning of 2020. So technically, that's my first FFO for 2020. So there is that. Let me see if I can show you without going into too much. Okay, so this is what it looked like. See all these wrinkles and everything. And this is, if I remember correctly, okay, that's actually, so it's before I ironed it. This is the back of it. Look how cool that looks. It looks very much like an abstract impressionist version of a llama, which I think is super cool. That's why I saved this picture, because I thought it was nifty. And then there's the front. So I had all this wrinkling, tons and tons of wrinkling, and you can't really see it in this picture, but there's also some staining over here. And I'm sure this is from my hand because I usually hold things on the left side. I hold the hoop on the left side. So this is what the finished piece looked like. Anyway, so let's flip back to me. Hello there. So that is all of my finishes and my FFOs for 2019. And let's see, I did have a couple of whips left over. So things that I started in 2019 but didn't finish. One of which you've seen a lot of, I think, and that's this Macintosh Rose SAL. So this was a free SAL. I'm dyslexic and I'm still working with the webcam, so I apologize. So this was that free SAL Macintosh Rose designed by Peppermint Purple that is still available, as far as I know, on the Lakeside Needlecraft website. So still available if you're interested in it. I have actually worked on it some more. I worked on it a little bit more towards the end of 2019. So previously I had these sort of purple and teal bits already finished, those areas there. And then I started with, excuse me, this red and orange area. So the rest of this section will be that color. And then this rose down here will also be the red and orange. And if I remember correctly, this section up here is going to be more of that purple and teal. And then there's more black work to fill in all of this white space. So these two flosses, these are actually all three of these variegated flosses, because you can see, it's not going to focus because it's too close. This doesn't autofocus very well. There we go. So the black work in the background there is I believe that's called Parrot. All of these flosses are from Yarn Player on Etsy. So I want to say that that's a parrot color. And then we've got the kind of purple and teal and the red, yellow, orange. And then these leaves, I've got a variegated color that goes from yellow to green. That's going to go in those leaves, also by Yarn Player. So those are all from that really awesome Etsy shop that I found. Let's see if we're going to focus. Focus. I'm not good at this focus stuff. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, that was that is the Macintosh Rose SAL. There is a bigger Macintosh Rose SAL also available on Lakeside Needlecraft. I haven't bought into it yet. It's also designed by Peppermint Purple, but it's a larger piece, and I think a more probably a more squared off, more traditional Macintosh Rose kind of piece. So if you're interested in this style, especially if you're interested in black work, then definitely check that out. Also, if you like black work in general, Peppermint Purple is an awesome designer. She does mostly black work stuff, so definitely check her out. So that's a piece I started last year that I plan to finish this year. Another thing that I started last year that I've been working on this this past week because it was easy to travel with. I may have something in my eye. It was easy to travel with, something easy to work on away from home. So I just took this to San Antonio and I worked on it a fair bit in San Antonio. But I'll admit I'm having some trouble finishing this one because it's just, I don't know what it is. It's not interesting enough or something. It's too simple, too repetitive. I'm not really sure. It's nothing against the designer, but this is the Stitchonomy Winter SAL from 2019. Let me get it over here where you can see it. And this is basically just a large circle with different sized and shaped snowflakes. It's super simple, super easy. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the design or anything, but for whatever reason, it's just not interesting enough to me. So it's actually been a bit of a struggle to get this finished. And I worked on it off and on all weekend while I was in San Antonio, and I just kept having to put it down because I just wasn't into it. So I think I'm on pattern 21 of 27. So I'm getting close to done. I'm trying to just push through and get it finished. The other fun thing about this one, this is the one where I decided I would carry the threads and I would just, I would park them instead of finishing and starting again on the next snowflake and stuff. So I have all these threads that are just kind of hanging off the back here. And because I carried all those threads, the back looks a mess. And it might be a subconscious thing. Like maybe I don't want to work on this because the back looks horrendous. Like I normally don't do that. And it kind of bothers me that I did do that. But to start and refinish each of these little patterns would have been so silly. So I don't know. But I'm not long from finishing this. So I will finish this soon. So that's another thing I'm going to finish. So those are the last two things that I started in actually, technically, they're not the last two things I started in 2019. The last thing that I started in 2019, dun, da, 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 drum roll, please, is the Cunning Cross Stitch Harry Potter Letters from Hogwarts Stitch Your Own Adventure. So this is a 17-inch Q-snap. It doesn't even fit in the frame. I have to scoot way back. Okay, so there you go. There's the 17-inch Q-snap. This thing is massive. You cannot do anything while you're on this because you can't see past you can't see past the frame. So I haven't gotten a lot done on this. And part of that is because this thing is so massive, it's awkward to work with. But I really, really hate having to move my fabric. I hate getting dents in work that I've already done. I don't care if the fabric gets slightly, wrinkled and distorted and that sort of stuff. That doesn't bother me, but having my work wrinkled or distorted really bothers me. So I needed to have it on this massive thing so that it could all be visible all at one time, but I'm realizing it's so hard to work with. And I don't know, I guess I've just seen the pattern for too long. I'm just kind of like, it's just not, I don't know. Anyway, so I started this. I've got my wand. So I ended up totally cheating and not using dice to roll my wand. I just kind of picked what I wanted to do. So I picked the shapes that I liked for the wand. And then I used this, I believe this is the 4010. Or is it the 4040? It's the brown variegated optional floss. I use that. I think I might do some back stitching on it eventually. Trying to get that up closer so you can see. I might do some back stitching on it eventually to give it some more definition and more detail. You can also see I've started the blue scroll work that goes at the top, and I've started the side of page 1. So that's as far as I got by the end of 2019. And then when January 1st hit, a couple of the stitch alongs, the new stitch alongs I want to do dropped, and I was like, well, I'm going to do these now. So this has been sitting since the end of 2019, and I probably won't get back to this until February. Now, these patterns only drop every 2 months. So January 1st was the first chapter, and that, let's see, it's January 20th now, so I'm not really spoiling anything for you. So right here, this section is where the first page goes, and the first page is basically your house banner. So you decide your house, and then you stitch your banner on here. So it's going to be the header and everything, and then you'll have your banner front and center. I'm going to do something, if I get to the banner, which is to me somewhat of a big if right now, but if I get to the banner, I'm going to do something crazy with the banner. I'm not just going to do straight up Ravenclaw or Slytherin. It's going to be some craziness. So that will make it more exciting for me. But that is, like I said, that's probably not going to happen until closer to the end of February. The next pattern won't drop until March 1st. So plenty of time, she says, as she waits until February 28th and then figures out that she can't do it all in one day. So, but that was my last start of 2019. And that is the first of the SAL. Sorry, I have this massive, to store this, I have this massive, essentially Ziploc bag, but it's a Ziploc bag with handles. So it works really nicely. And I wouldn't normally invest in something like that, but this is a project that's ongoing for an entire year, and it's massive. And I really wanted to have a place to keep it for it to be protected and all that sort of stuff. So I can put a link to this in the video description in case anybody is interested in these plastic bags. I think it was a set of 3 of them for $10 on Amazon. So if you need a 24 by 24 plastic Ziploc bag, I know where to get one. Let's see. Okay, so that's all the starts from 2019. Let me just move these over. I have needle minders on these too, and if I put them too close together, the needle minders will merge, and then it'll be a disaster. So that's everything I started and finished in 2019. So there's 2019 Redux. We're done with 2019. Let's talk about plans for 2020. So obviously Soya is on the books for 2020. In addition to that, I have, using my my planner that I went through, my Flosstube that was not a Flosstube, and I won't go into great detail here, but I really like this planner. It's helping me stay organized. So my 24 hours of cross stitch 2020 planner, using that, I have decided that one of my goals for this year is to finish some old whips that have been hanging around for a while. That's not to say that I won't go into 2021 with 2020 whips. I think I absolutely will, because I think it's good to kind of keep things rolling. But I think a good goal for me would be to do as many finishes as I do starts for the year. I think that's a good way to kind of look at it, because it's okay to start new stuff, but you need to finish some things up. Now, a lot of those finishes won't be until the end of the year, because I'm doing these whole year-long SALs and everything. Hogwarts won't finish until right at the end of the year. And some of the other ones that I'm going to talk about are completely year-long projects, so once a month until the end of the year. But I have other stuff that I'll be picking up in the middle of the year, and I have smaller pieces and other stuff that I'm going to be working on. So I think that's a decent goal, is to maybe like one finish for every start for the year. So we'll see. I don't know if that's possible, since I will have, well, technically, because I have a couple of starts that came from last year, so I could theoretically finish one for every start. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so I think I've shown you this before. This is the start of the Stiachalong 5, so from 2017, the pattern from 2017. So that's going to be, I believe the text reads, "As for me and my house, we shall," and then the bottom is going to be "Obey the giant head," and it's going to be the giant head from Rick and Morty. So I plan to finish this year. And then I also plan to finish this year. Now, I used to think that this was massive. It is quite a large piece. It's much larger than this 10-inch hoop. So this is just the central design. It's got a lot of other stuff going on around it. But I used to think that this was a massive piece. But now I've seen Hayed designs. I've seen some heaven and earth patterns. I own one. I plan on buying a couple more. But now that I've seen heaven and earth patterns, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. So I'll finish this year. That is my goal. In fact, next weekend is the first 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. So I will be focusing on this next weekend, I believe, after my dpathon or around my dpathon. But regardless, this is going to be a focus. So that's my pledge here and now. I'm going to finish these 2 older whips this year. They will be done this year. Done. So get those out of there. So in addition to finishing up some old whips in 2020, 2020 will be the year of the SAL. I'm going to do all the SALs. Well, not really all the SALs. So if I can remember, stitchingthenightaway.com has this really awesome comprehensive list of stitch-alongs for 2020. You should definitely check that out. There's something for everybody there. I think I've talked about it in a previous video, but regardless, it's a great list of different stitch-alongs, all different kinds of motifs, all different kinds of patterns, all different kinds of everything. Some of them are free, some of them are paid for, but regardless, there's something for everybody. You will find a stitch-along that you are interested in if that's the kind of thing that you want to do. One of the stitch-alongs that I had already planned to do, and I probably have mentioned this, so now I'll start talking about my starts for the year. One of the ones that I had talked about previously was the Animal Almanac from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I treated myself to the full kit for that stitch along back in December for Christmas. So I have, this was technically my second start of 2020. So this is where I am so far. This is Aurora the penguin. You can't quite tell she's a penguin yet. You will. Ugh. Me with the dyslexia. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't say that lightly. I really have a problem with directionality. So I'm pretty far along, but I've got a decent amount of work left to do. This one has been frustrating. And the reason it's been frustrating partly is this is another piece that I've been trying stitching in hand. And I think this is not the kind of design you should stitch in hand. If you're an experienced, if you're very, very experienced with stitching in hand, if it's something that you've always done, I think you're totally fine doing whatever. But the linen, this linen particularly, is really pliable and it's really susceptible to shaping and molding itself to whatever. So if you, I mean, I don't think it overstretches, but it curls in your hand and it'll stay that way. It holds the shape. So when you move it and adjust it and do stuff, it shapes differently. And so the floss doesn't lay, the stitches don't lay quite as evenly as they could if you did it in a hoop. And part of me wants to go ahead and put this in a hoop now and finish this part of the pattern, but I'm afraid that it'll look significantly different. I feel like I need to finish Aurora the same way I started her, and then if I want to go to a hoop for the next one, but we'll see. We'll see. So it's been frustrating because I've had to frog it a couple times too. I miscounted when I originally did, let's see, oh my gosh. Okay, so when I originally did these sort of aurora clouds up here, I miscounted right around here, and I didn't notice it until I had put in Aurora and this part of her hat and the trees, and I started putting in the little, started putting in the little igloo, and then I realized that even though the, goodness gracious, even though, what is this piece? The snow globe portion met in the middle at the top like it was supposed to. It was one stitch short, so everything was just effed up. It was all effed up. And I was going to just try to live with it, but it made the igloo off center, and it was going to make the entire bottom banner with the month number and everything. It was going to make all of it off center, and I felt like it was going to be too visible for the rest of the pattern, because then number 1 was going to be completely off center from whatever number came under it. And it wouldn't have been noticeable horizontally, but this pattern is mostly vertical. So if you can see, so it's going to be 2 months across, but then 6 months down. So it would be, I felt like it was going to be way too noticeable in the long term. I'm not normally one to frog because of one missed stitch, but that was going to F everything up. So I did have to frog like half of the work that I had done. So, so because of that, I put Aurora aside for a little while. But it's almost the end of January, so it's time to get back to her and finish her. I hope to finish her before February. So that I will be ready for the next pattern. Then, and this is a stitch along I totally didn't know I was going to do. I didn't know about it, and I was like, well, that's a Quaker style pattern. I don't do Quaker samplers. That's not my thing. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. But then I joined the group, and I saw all the nifty things that other people were doing with theirs, and I was like, okay, now I have to do that. So this is, okay. So this is the Linen and Threads 2020 Mystery Sampler. I only have most of the top part of the design in here. So there's actually going to be a half circle over here, and there's a butterfly over here, and there's space for initials. I don't know what initials I'm ultimately going to put on this, so I'm going to leave the initial areas blank for the time being. But this is my start. So I would have worked on this until I finished it, but I felt the need to start Aurora. So I stopped here. This I'm also working on in hand because this fabric is so huge. So this is just as big or almost as big as the Soya. The overall stitch count is 244 by 244. So it's a big square mother, just like Soya is. But this is going to be more like a traditional Quaker pattern. And what I decided to do, I have this is Threadworks Indian Tapestry, this color is. It's got some purple, some blue, some orange. And I may use other colors as well, but this will be my either the sole color or the primary color that I use. And part of the reason I'm doing that is because Indian Tapestry reminds me of my mom. And part of why you do a Quaker sampler, or part of the things involved in doing a Quaker sampler, is like honoring family. And this one I think is specifically, like, the theme is family and friends. So Indian Tapestry is sort of honoring my mom, bringing her into it. At some point, her initials will go in here as well. I just have to decide. Part of it is I feel like I need to do a little bit of research and find out where you're supposed to put, if there is such a thing, where you're supposed to put certain kinds of initials. And failing that, then I will decide based on the motif, where is the most favorable position, the place that I feel like honors her the most. If my mom had been super into butterflies, then I would put her initials near the butterfly. And that may be where her initials eventually go, depending on what the rest of the motif is. But, if there's something that I feel fits her more appropriately, then I'll put her initials somewhere else. So this was actually my first start of 2020, but it's the second SAL that I decided to do. Aurora was the first SAL I decided to do, but the second start of the year. And you may recall, so this is my third start for the year. And you may recall, I was just talking about black work and Peppermint Purple. Well, because Peppermint Purple wanted to thank her clients, she wanted to thank everybody who has appreciated her designs and purchased her designs. She decided she's going to do a weekly black work SAL for 2020. So there's going to be 52 blocks in this full pattern. And I believe these are about 1 inch by 1 inch. These squares, the next square, week 3, I haven't done yet. That dropped last Wednesday, is actually 2 squares worth of space. and then I believe there's going to be 2 more. So it'll be like 6 squares across basically, and then it'll go down for the full year. So, and she has set it up to be sort of a rainbow pattern. She's got 52 different colors, and you can use her colors or you can use your own. A lot of people have been doing variegated floss, which looks gorgeous. I decided, because it's 52 blocks, I didn't want to decide on 52 colors or motifs to use for the entire year. So I am actually going with the prescribed colors for the SAL. And hopefully you can see the detail in this. These look really cool. I really love the blackwork stuff. And this is a piece of opalescent white Aida. This is 18 count, which is my preferred count for Aida. And then I've got 310 along the side here. That's what's prescribed or what's asked for the back stitching border. And then this first block is 814. The second block is 815. The third block will be 816. I apologize if you're hearing all these notifications. I didn't think that was gonna, people are blowing me up today. So, and you can also see here, I have a new needle minder. This is You're Safe With Me. This is actually available in my Etsy shop. I just started making these. I finally figured out how to turn a pin into a needle minder. Yay! So I do have these available if you're interested in getting one. I have just a few right now, but I can get more if folks are interested. But yeah, so that's the Peppermint Purple SAL. That is stitch along number 3 for the year. So other stitch alongs. Let me see. This should technically be part of my stash flash, but I'm just going to show it to you now. This artwork is done. This was is Medusa the Doll Maker is the artwork, but it is based on The Last Unicorn, which is a Peter S. Beagle book that was made into an animated movie in the early 80s. It's one of my favorite movies ever. When I saw this, I was like, I have to have it. And my Secret Santa, my dpathon or DP diamond painting Secret Santa thing that I joined, this was one of the gifts that I got from them. So that was really awesome. So in here I have another stitch along. I have the Grimm's Fairy Tale stitch along as well from Clouds Factory. I haven't started that yet. They didn't drop the pattern until January 10th. So that's a new start that's coming up soon. And then I also have from Lakeside Needlecraft. So this is the fabric. This is a woodland, this stitch along that I'm doing is called the Woodland Stitch Along. So this is a really pretty pale green fabric. It's coming out kind of bluish. It's really bright outside today, so it's kind of effing with everything. But it's a really pretty greenish fabric that they provided with their kit for the stitch along. And I chose a 32 count even weave. So that's what we've got for that. So that's the fabric for that. And so as the title would suggest, this is all little woodland animals. And this stitch along started a few months ago. I actually purchased it before it started. I purchased the kit before it started back in, I guess it would have been June. I think that's when it started. But I asked them, because I also ordered the winter design book. What do they call it? They do a winter pattern book. Lakeside Needlecraft does, and it was not due to dispatch until November, so I had them hold this until they sent that in November to save on shipping. So I just received this in late November. It was like Thanksgiving or slightly after. So they're actually on pattern 7 now. I think pattern 7 just released in January, pattern 8 coming up in February. But this is another stitch along that I'll be doing. I'm hoping that this will be fairly easy to catch up on in between other projects. So that's that. And then the Grimm's Fairy Tale. And I'm sure there's going to be more stitch alongs, but you know, that right there is 6 stitch alongs. Or is that 5? I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitch alongs. But I'll also be doing stitch. So that's at least stitch alongs, 6 stitch alongs for the year. And that's before I pick up any others. There's a really good chance that I will pick up the Peppermint Purple larger Macintosh Rose stitch along. Oh my gosh, words are hard. It's entirely possible I will pick that up. I do already have the floss for that. I wasn't sure if it was a free or a paid stitch along, so I went ahead and bought the purple colorway for that. So I totally have the floss for that. I can do that whenever I want. I probably will pick that up. I'll also be doing lots of littles in between. The linen and threads, that stitch along, and that's designed by Fox and Rabbit Designs. If you're familiar with them, that's who designed that stitch along. It comes with an ornament pattern as well. So I'm going to be working on doing some, I don't know if it comes with a new one every month, or if it just comes with one the first month. If it comes with one every single month, then I will totally do a different ornament every single month, because my goal will be to start making some Christmas ornaments now, so that by the time Christmas comes, I can actually send some out to friends and family. So hopefully that'll work too. I have a lot of lofty cross stitch goals this year, so so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's why it's the year of the SAL. I'll be doing at least 6, and that's, you know, and that's just what I figured out for January. Oh, 7, because I just remembered. Stitchonomy is doing the homely houseplant stitch along, and that starts in February. Pardon me. So that's another stitch along that I'll be doing this year. So at least 7. It'll probably end up being at least 1 stitch along for every month of the year. And I hope to at least have 1 finish for every start for the year. So we shall see. Okay, so that's it for 2019. That's it for plans for 2020. I mentioned in my last video, because I did a practice live, and then I actually did a live practice live next week, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. I will be doing a live as part of dpathon, which is sort of a marathon of diamond painting videos to help small YouTubers promote their channels. And so I am participating in that. So I will be live on YouTube at 4:30 p.m. on Eastern on Saturday, January 25th. I will be working on a diamond painting. I'll be live painting on a diamond painting. And so that may or may not be your cup of tea, since we're usually stitchy friends here. But if that's something that you're interested in, definitely come in. I will be talking about anything and everything, whatever folks want to talk about. If there aren't a lot of folks in the room, then I will make up stuff to talk about. So there's totally the possibility for lots of stitchy chat. So if that's something that you would be interested in joining in, definitely stop by. I'd be happy to have you. If you don't have time for that, there will definitely be, the video will be available for replay later if you just kind of want to see what it's all about, what diamond painting is about, what's happening with me and that kind of stuff. I might have a tag or something available just in case conversation runs shy. It's an hour and a half, so we'll see. But yeah, so that's coming up next week. And hopefully I'll have another floss tube for you the week after that. If I don't have a floss tube for you, I do have a special stash video for you. It's a secret. It's a secret surprise. I have let one of my friends see that already, but I need to edit it, and I'll put that up in place of my next floss tube if I can't get that done the week after the live here on YouTube. So we'll definitely have videos for you the next 2 weeks, and then if I can't get floss tube number 7 done when I expect to do it, it should be available for you in 2 weeks from now anyway. So going to try to do at least a new video every 2 weeks. If I can manage it, I'll have some kind of video for you every week, but we'll see how that goes. Life is busy. So anyway, so now let's talk about Stash Flash. Stash Flash. So I did just go to San Antonio, but I wasn't aware of any craft stores in San Antonio. There was a yarn store that I could have gone to, but it didn't look like they had a whole lot of cross-stitching stuff. So I didn't actually pay for the Uber to go over there. We didn't rent a car while we were in town. We just stayed at the Riverwalk, and we hoofed it everywhere. So if it wasn't pretty close to the mall, I didn't really go see it. And that was partly because we only had a couple days. So if we'd had more time, I would have gone and explored. But so I don't actually have any Stash Flash from San Antonio, or at least not floss or fabric or anything like that. What I do have, because we went to PAX South, so PAX South is a video game convention. If you've ever been to anything like Gen Con or Comic Con or anything like that, PAX is similar to that, but it's focused specifically on electronic games. So handhelds, PC games, console games, any kind of electronic game you can think of. That's what that show is about. And it wasn't really my bag. I feel like I've been to other conventions that had more readily available gaming stuff to do. But I mean, it was fun to have experienced it for the time that we did. We actually went for True Dungeon. If you're not familiar with True Dungeon, it's a live action role-playing game. And what they do is they set up these physical dungeons in the convention halls that they go to. And, so they actually create this environment for you, a fantasy environment where you get to run into monsters and have conversations with non-player characters and solve puzzles and have battles and all this sort of stuff. It's not usually to the extent where we wear costumes and we have fake swords and we actually, fight, that kind of stuff. It's more like your tabletop D&D as far as the combat and stuff goes. But even so, you get to pretend to be somebody else for a little while, run through a storyline, do some puzzles. It's really, really fun. So that was our main purpose in going anyway. We had lots of fun with that. And we also hit the dealer hall. And in the dealer hall, I found future needle minders. So let's see. So I got a burrito. That's so cute. They had a bunch of, at T-Turtle, they had a bunch of exclusive pins. And they were like super cheap. So I got the little burrito dude. I got, this one's super funny. This made me think of Rachel Ray. It says so extra. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn that says so extra. And I totally thought of her, and then I was like, but this one's for me. It's not for you, Rachel. Sorry. I already sent you your pin. And they had the cute little fox. The fox is so cute. And the fox is holding a D12, so it's a little gamer fox. Super cute. And then I don't like these quite as much because they're in gold and not silver. They're harder to see, I think. But this is, if I can get the, I can't get the shiny. Anyway, so this is a purple unicorn, and it's got like a halo. He's just like a fighty unicorn. But it's purple, and I like him. It's got a, it looks like it has a halo, but it's like a fiery halo, like he's like saintly but evil. I don't know. And then this is like a little mage witch unicorn. He's gray. My focus is not working with me. There you go. So he's really cool. So I got those from T-Turtle. Oh, these are actually from Unstable Unicorn. So these are probably like specific characters. But I haven't played Unstable Unicorn, so I don't really know what characters those might be. But they're super cute. They're all going to be needle minders at some point in the near future. I also, at PAX, there is this really awesome company called Geekify. And they apparently are in the business of getting licensing to make items based on stuff that gamers love, but has been mostly forgotten by the merchandising world. So one of the things that they have some fantastic merch for is The Last Unicorn. I had no idea anybody was still doing stuff with The Last Unicorn, but Geekify has not only enamel pins, they have blankets, they have scarves, they have this absolutely freaking gorgeous tarot card deck that is The Last Unicorn. The art was phenomenal, but I couldn't afford the tarot deck at the time. They also had a wooden box that goes with it, a reading, fabric, tablecloth, something like that. They had a mat, basically, a gorgeous purple velvet mat to do readings on, and like a card signed by Peter S. Beagle. I mean, it was this whole shebang. Way too rich for my blood for the weekend. But I did get a couple of enamel pins. So here we have the unicorn itself. The character's name is Amalthea. So she's a unicorn, but she can turn into, or is turned into, a woman. a human woman. The focus is not good at this distance. Let me fix this because you need to see this. Okay, there we go. So this is Amalthea as the unicorn, as her unicorn self. And then I also got Magic, Do As You Will. So this is one of the lines from the movie. And this is sort of how Amalthea gets into the predicament that she gets into. Because there's this little mage dude, and he sort of kind of can do magic, but it's not really confident. And he says, magic, do as you will. And oops, unicorn lady is turned into lady. And then wackiness ensues. You should totally watch it if you ever get a chance. I believe it's still on Netflix, so you should totally watch it. It's worth a watch. And Geekify has the full set of pins. So they have all of the characters from the movie. They have, whose names escape me right now, but they have the bull and the unicorn. They have the wizard and the woman that help Amalthea. They have the cat, who is a great character, as well as the skeleton, just like all the different characters from the movie. The butterfly, yeah. So if you're interested in that, I will definitely put a link. Like I said, it's Geekify is the company. Geekifyinc.com is their website, and they do have all of the different pins available. They also have stickers. I got a couple of stickers too, but I didn't remember to bring them down here. And then because I'm doing Stash Flash, I will show you some other pins that I got from T-Turtle previously. When I said that I got Rachel a pin already, this is the order that came with. So this is also from Unstable Unicorns. Goodness gracious, the shine. Okay. So this is like a trash dragon or a rune dragon. I forget what he's called, but he's super cute. And this is Foxy Nerd. That's so cute. And then Chibi Cthulhu. Because who doesn't need a Chibi Cthulhu, right? Adam wants my Chibi Cthulhu. I haven't decided whether or not I let him have it or not. So all of those are destined to become, needle minders in the future. So I'm going to have a fuckload of needle minders. Oh, excuse me, my nose is running all of a sudden. Okay, so now let's do some regular Stash Flash. Let me refocus this out here. Da, da, da. Okay, so both of these I've had for a while because I haven't done a Stash Flash for quite a while. This is the last fabric of the month from Mystic Fabrics. The color name is Sugar Plum. So this is really, and the colors are probably not going to come out very well today. So this is a really gorgeous purple, somewhere between purple and lavender, because it's a little bit lighter than a royal purple, but it's not as light as lavender. It's really gorgeous. This is a 32 count Lugana, because that's pretty much what I'm doing these days, is 32 count Lugana. So that was December's fabric of the month. January did not have fabric of the month. Misty took a break for the holidays. She will be doing a fabric of the month starting in February. So that's coming up soon. We'll definitely, I should have that by the next time I do a Flosstube. So I'll definitely have that to show you. I've also started purchasing from a new fabric dyer on Facebook. Her business is called Dyeing for Cross Stitch, and that's DYEING for cross stitch. And her name is Kathy Davidson. She did right at the end of the year some fabric grab bags. So these are all small pieces suitable for like Christmas ornaments and things like that, and all different colors, but I thought these were fantastic. I also thought this was a great way to get into a new fabric dyer and see if I like their work, because it's a lot of small pieces in different colors that I might not normally buy. So it's a great way to kind of get an idea how their fabric and stuff is. I've also ordered some floss from Kathy, but my floss, I won't have it until tomorrow evening. It came while we were in San Antonio, so it is sitting at the post office, and the post office is not open until tomorrow. So I will get it sometime after I get off work. Sad. I was hoping to have it because the colors are going to be phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Her floss is crazy gorgeous. I can't wait to see it in person. And a couple of the colors that I've ordered, I think will complement the Indian tapestry color from Threadworks really well. So if that's the case, I think I'm going to work some of those colors into the Linen and Threads mystery sampler. So this is the first. Look how gorgeous this is. I love the color explosion. I don't know what in the world I'll use this for, but this is so fantastic. Like, this is a dyeing technique I really want to figure out myself, because I just love how that it looks marbled. And I don't know if that's something that you can get with ice dyeing, or I don't know how that works, but regardless, that's fantastic. This piece is also really nice. So a much lighter color, but we've still got some of that modeling and stuff. Trying to make sure you can, yeah, there we go. This would be really good for a Christmas ornament. And these are all, I believe these are all 32 count even weave. They may not all be Lugana. They may be different kinds of fabric, but I think they're all 32 count. Because apparently now I don't do Ada. That's a really nice piece, nice color. This one's a little bit more uniform, but it's still got some of that really pretty modeling and everything. And of course, because it's a grab bag, we have a little bit of everything. So some of the colors are more solid. Like this is a green with hints of yellow. I don't know if you can see. It's coming off really blue in the camera. And I don't think you can see the yellow very much at all. Actually, in the camera, it looks like blue with green, but it's actually green with yellow. And that would be a good piece, I think, for Christmas ornaments as well. It's a kind of Christmassy color. This is really nice because it's purple. You know me, I love purple. Purple is everything. Oh, that was the most disappointing thing about San Antonio. So we stayed on the Riverwalk. And which is connected to River Center, which is this huge mall. And there was supposed to be a store called Primarily Purple, a purple store. Like, I went on the riverboat cruise and the guy mentioned that there's a purple store at the mall. So I go looking for the purple store and there is a Primarily Purple and it's empty. There's like one rack with some random stuff on it and 2 purple chairs sitting in the store and nothing else. And it was closed. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I almost wanted to go back to the riverboat company and go, look, he really can't say that on the tour anymore because they're closed. Maybe they're remodeling. I don't know. Maybe I just had the bad fortune for it to be in the middle of all of that when I visited. But regardless, I felt cheated. So anyway, just saying. This is a piece of opal. The rest of these are opal. And this is, directions are challenging. Oh my gosh, I can't get anything straight. There we go. So this is kind of a fuchsia color with the modeling and the opal. It's really nice. And these are all such a great size for small stuff. I can't wait to use these. I love getting grab bags like this because you get a whole bunch of different fabrics and different colors you might not otherwise order. And they're all in great sizes for small pieces. And I love to do small pieces. This is sort of a tan, dark parchment color. Also opal. Okay, there we go. So that's really nice. And then this is, because of the coloring, it's almost a silver gray kind of fabric. Comes off a little more brown in the camera. But that is going to be, it actually looks almost army green in this light, but in other lights it's been closer to silver. But that's going to be a really nice piece for Christmas ornaments. That's what I'm trying to say. And that is her card, Dying for Cross Stitch by Kathy Davidson. So definitely check her out on Facebook. She works similarly to Mystic Fabrics in that if you're on her Facebook page, She posts her floss and her fabrics and whatever else she's dyed on Sundays. And I believe her posting time is 9 a.m. Central. So she posts her things there. You need to, if you want to get in on that, you need to sign up for her Facebook group and fill out her Google form. And then, you know, it's the standard kind of me please when you see something you like. So definitely worth checking out. I can't wait to see her flosses. So the first flosses I ordered will be in tomorrow. And I will most likely be buying more. I missed out on this week's, which made me really sad. She had some gorgeous, gorgeous colors this week. And I wasn't able to get to them quickly enough to me please them because I was in between airplanes flying back from San Antonio. So I thought I was early enough, but folks had asked for 2 and 3 skeins at a time, and by the time I got on there, they were all me pleased to death. So that made me sad, but there's always next week. So I have ordered some other flosses that I have received since we've done a stash flash. I finally got a chance to order from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. Her fabrics, Hand Dyed by Rolanda's, on the website, they look very similar to the ones, some of the ones from Kathy that I just showed you as far as that kind of watercolor modeling across. She has a very similar style, but her flosses are very different, I think, at least from what I've seen so far. Hand Dyed by Rolanda does a lot more variegated floss that's more one color versus shifting from one color to another. But she does do some of the shifting colors. So I got these 2 silks. I had never tried silks before. I should probably just leave this. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it in the package. I didn't realize there's a big sticker across the back. So, so these are 2 different colors of silk. Let me readjust the camera and try to get the glare. There we go. So there's a blue-green one on top and then a pink, purple, and blue on the bottom. These are both silk skeins. I want to say these were slightly less than $4 per skein. And those are silk, so I'm excited to work with those. I'm not sure what I'll do with them. I've heard that silk is really wonderful to work with, but I never have worked with it before. So, and then I also got a couple of cotton floss skein packs. So this is a limited edition traditional Christmas colors, 100% cotton floss. So that is, you can see there's jingle bells, jingle all the way. Again, everything is looking a little bluer than it should, but that's actually a variegated green at the top, green, white, and red, red, green, and red, and then red and white. So these will also be used, obviously, for Christmas stitching, for Christmas ornament stitching. So I'll probably be working on that all year long. It's a nice floss pack. And then I got 2 of these because after I got the Christmas one, I was like, I really should have ordered more. So this doesn't actually say, this was, I think, a limited edition color pack that she did, which I really like. These were still available until like last week, I think. So again, everything's coming up bluer, but this is sort of a teal color, a greenish teal, and then pink, a light green. This is a more bright, like electric blue, and then this is a combination. Let's flip it over. And then this one is a combination of all those colors. And I actually got 2 packs of this, so I have a little bit of these to go around. I think these would be fun for Christmas as well because they are primarily in the green and red kind of area, but they'd be sort of like modern, new age Christmas, you know. So I think that would be fun. So I've got those. I do plan on, I was going to get in on Hand Dyed by Rolanda's Floss of the Month, but payday didn't come quickly enough. By the time I got paid and could put in the order, there were no more Floss of the Month. So maybe next month. I'll try to save up my money so that I can actually put it in when she puts the listing, when she puts the listing up on Etsy. So hopefully next time I'll catch it. I'm also planning in the near future, might not be till February, I'm planning to get some Silks for You floss as well. So many people are using a Silks for You on the Linen and Threads sampler, and the colors are just phenomenal. Oh my gosh. And I was like, where is everybody getting their Silks for You? Turns out you can buy it on Etsy. So Etsy to the rescue. I'll be putting in, hopefully, I'll actually probably be putting in a pretty big order when I finally do that, because they have, I think, a standing special where if you buy 5 skeins, you get the 6th free, or if you buy 4, you get the 5th free. It's something about buy however many, and then you get 1 free. So I will probably be taking advantage of that, especially because they are based in Australia. So the more I buy, the less expensive shipping is. So that'll be a thing too. But I'm really, really trying hard. If you were in the live the other day, I'm really trying hard to keep to a budget every month for my craft spending. And part of that is because I spent a whole lot of money on fabric and floss and all this sort of stuff last year. And part of that is too because we have a lot of trips planned for the future. And, you know, we need money to be able to go to all those fantastic places and have money to spend in those fantastic places. And if I'm buying all the floss and all the fabric and all the things, then we don't have money for that. So trying to tighten down a little bit, get ourselves in a good financial position this year, and also, you know, just not buy so much stuff. So I really have already spent my January budget, so I really need to wait until February before I buy more stuff. So, but in February's Flosstube, because it will be in February by the time I do the next Flosstube. I will have Kathy Davidson's floss to show you. I should have the new Misty Fabric of the Month to show you. I'm hoping to actually get into 1 or 2 more Floss of the Month clubs. I forget what the website is. It was suggested by Michelle Bendy Stitchy. And they didn't have openings available, so I put myself on a wait list or a, you know, let me know list. So if that opens up, I will definitely join in on that, and that'll come out of my Stitchy budget too. So, but the good thing is that because I bought so much stuff last year, I have a ton of stuff available to me. So I could probably stitch for half the year without having to buy more floss, which would be pretty awesome, because I already have all the SALs I've already started are pretty much kitted up, or at least I have the stuff for them, except for the Peppermint Purple Stitch Along. I've only got about half that floss because it was 52 different colors. So I bought about 6 months worth of colors. So I still have the second half of that to get. But Grimm's Fairy Tales, I already have kitted. My secret project that I'm doing with Rachel and Heike is kitted except for Krynet colors that I need to buy, but I can buy those over time. I don't need those right now. And then what else? And then I have all these really spiffy flosses and all these really spiffy fabrics that I can work on new projects with. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's, you know, I have to cut back on my spending, but the nice thing is that I don't have to cut back on my enjoyment of the hobby because I have a really awesome stash. So that's a good thing. And I'm looking at it. Okay, I was looking at a bag of floss going, what is that floss? What does that go to? But it's the baggiest stuff for the Animal Almanac SAL. So yeah. So, the other thing that I will have for next Flosstube, I made a really spiffy purchase. This is part of the reason that I blew my budget for January. I wasn't expecting to get this anytime soon, or get these anytime soon, but I'm super excited to have them. I can't wait to have them so I can get some things organized. But hopefully sitting in the post office with my Kathy Davidson floss is this super secret purchase that I hope to show you next Flosstube. So be excited for that. Anyway, so I think that should be it. I don't even know how long this is. If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope to see you on January 25th for my live. Definitely bring any questions, comments, any fun cross-stitchy or diamond painting stuff that you have to say or that you want to talk about. I am happy to talk about any random thing. I don't like to get into politics. I don't mind talking about spirituality and religion. I'm pretty open-minded, so, you know, bring your questions, bring your fun, bring everything. So if I don't see you on the 25th, then hopefully I'll see you for Flosstube number 8. Is this number 7? This is number 6. Next one's number 7. Lucky number 7. So anyway, if I don't see you for the live, then I hope to see you for Flosstube number 7. And if you have enjoyed what you watched, then definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified anytime I post anything or go live, then hit that little bell. We are at 79 subscribers currently. Super exciting, which means we are not far from having a 100 subscriber giveaway. So y'all be on the watch out for that. Since I think most of you are probably cross-stitchy people, it will likely be cross-stitchy stuff. I will tell you more about what the actual prize is going to be once we get there. If you are not a cross-stitchy person and you'd like to see something not cross-stitchy available as the giveaway, let me know. I do have a diamond painting or two that I would be willing to put in for a giveaway. So, you know, let me know here in the comments the kinds of things that you would hope to see in a giveaway, and we'll see what happens. And until then, I hope you're having a great day, having a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.